A temporary plywood cold water basin cover, otherwise known as a dance floor, is a temporary plywood deck that will be laid over the cold water basin to prevent trash and debris from getting in the water. The cold water basin cover will also provide a solid work platform on the bottom elevation of the tower to move materials as needed throughout the cooling tower. The plywood deck will be constructed of 3/4 or greater plywood with intermediate supports. The temporary deck will require intermediates to support the temporary deck, a minimum of every 3 foot. Be sure not to use treated plywood for a temporary deck. To install a temporary plywood cold water basin cover, you will first need to install intermediate supports. The number of intermediate supports required per bay will be determined by the bay size. A 4-foot or 6-foot bay will require 1 intermediate support per bay, while an 8-foot bay will require 2 intermediate supports per bay. Next, you will need to fabricate the plywood for the decking. It is important that the notches for braces and columns are tight so that dirt and debris cannot bypass the deck and enter the cold water basin. Once the plywood has been fabricated, you will install the temporary plywood cold water basin covers. When installing, ensure that there are no gaps to which dirt and debris can bypass the plywood. Seams where plywood meet should be overlapped to prevent the plywood from flexing and allowing dirt to get into the water. Due to the tripping hazard associated with overlapping the plywood seams, all seams should be identified with high visibility spray paint. After the plywood has been installed, you will fasten the plywood to the tie lines and the intermediate supports with screws or nails to ensure the plywood does not shift as work is being performed.